Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into some of the most impactful life lessons that can truly change your perspective. We all need a reminder every now and then about what really matters and how we can navigate this beautiful, chaotic journey called life. Stick around because these insights might be just what you need to hear today. And hey, if you enjoy content that makes you think, grow, and feel inspired, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on those notifications so you never miss out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how these lessons resonate with you. 1. Writing your own story. When it comes to writing the story of your life, here's the deal: don't let anyone else hold the pen. Seriously, this is your life. There will always be people out there with opinions, expectations, and ideas about what you should do, but at the end of the day, you are the author. It can be tempting to let others dictate your choices, but think about it: do you really want your story to be written by someone else? Nah, didn't think so. And here's another crucial piece of advice: don't put off those important medical checkups. I know, life gets busy, and the idea of sitting in a waiting room isn't exactly thrilling. But your health is the foundation for everything else. It's one of those things that we don't think much about until something goes wrong. Trust me, prevention is so much better than dealing with a crisis later on. Now, let's talk about something a lot of us struggle with: self-compassion. Guys, we are all human, and we all make mistakes. No one has it all figured out. So cut yourself some slack. Remember that time heals almost everything, but it takes, well, time. No magic fix, no instant results, just time. You have to let the process work. Sometimes we're our own worst critics, and the only way to move forward is to be as kind to ourselves as we would be to a friend. You know what also works wonders? A good laugh and a long sleep. I'm serious, these are two of the best cures for just about anything. It's amazing what a full night of rest or a belly laugh with your best friend can do. Laughter isn't just an emotional release, it's like a mini reset button for the soul. And sleep? Sleep is when your body and mind get to recover and recharge. Never underestimate the power of these two simple things. Sometimes you win, and sometimes you learn. Life isn't just about victories, it's also about the lessons that come from those moments when things don't go as planned. Failure is not the end, it's just a step in the process. If we're open to learning from our setbacks, we grow. This is why forgiveness is so powerful. And no, forgiveness isn't really about the other person, it's for you. It's for your peace of mind, so you can move forward without that extra weight dragging you down. And speaking of challenges, sometimes we're tested not to show our weaknesses but to discover our strengths. When life puts us through the ringer, it's easy to feel defeated. But those hard times? They're what show us what we're truly capable of. You might not realize it in the moment, but the calmer you are, the clearer you can think. A calm mind is a powerful mind, it's capable of seeing solutions where others see problems. Here's a big one: work on you, for you. Forget the noise. Forget the comparisons. You owe it to yourself to become the best version of you, not for anyone else, but for your own happiness. And let's be real here, the truth is, everyone is going to hurt you at some point. That's just part of being human. You've got to find the ones worth suffering for, the people whose love and companionship make the tough moments worthwhile. Be proud of how hard you're trying. It's so easy to get caught up in feeling like we're not doing enough, or that we're behind where we're supposed to be. But take a step back and recognize your effort. You're here, you're pushing forward, and that counts for a lot. Don't look back, you're not going that way. The past is done, and the future is waiting for you. And listen, as much as we'd like to believe in unwavering support, don't depend too much on anyone in this world. People have their own challenges, and even the ones who love you might not always be there when you're in the dark. The harsh truth? Even your own shadow leaves you when it's dark enough. That's why it's important to be strong within yourself, to know that you can handle whatever comes your way, even alone. When it comes to making a living, sure, work at your job. But don't forget to work on yourself too. That's how you make a fortune, not just in money but in a life well lived. It's about creating the kind of future where you thrive, not just survive. And remember, at your lowest points, you learn a lot. Those moments have a way of stripping away the unnecessary and showing you what really matters. The good news? Some of the best times of your life haven't even happened yet. Hold on to that thought when things get tough. This is your world. Shape it, or someone else will. If you're not intentional about the kind of life you want, it's easy to get swept up in someone else's version of it. You have to take ownership. And watch out for bad habits. They're like a comfortable bed, easy to get into, but hard to get out of. If you recognize that you're stuck in a bad pattern, take action. It's not easy, but it's so worth it. No one is too busy, it's all about priorities. If something matters enough, you make time for it. If it doesn't, you find an excuse. And when it comes to your happiness, sometimes it's best to keep it quiet. Not everything has to be shared. The best thing I ever did was stop telling people what's going on in my life. It's not about being secretive, it's about protecting your peace. 3. Growth and self-improvement. Now that we've covered self-worth and balance, let's move on to the next phase, growth and self-improvement. This is where things get real, and where you start pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. By the way, if you're getting value from these lessons, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, and turn on notifications. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments as well. Let's keep the conversation going. Alright, let's get into it. Striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you haven't planted. It just doesn't work. There are no shortcuts, you've got to put in the effort. Everyone wants the rewards, but not everyone wants to put in the time and energy to get there. And that's where the difference lies between those who succeed and those who don't. Hard work might not be glamorous, and it might not be easy, but it's the only real way to build something that lasts. Never force. Don't beg, and don't chase. Whether it's a person, an opportunity, or a goal, forcing things often ends up with you being exhausted and disappointed. Sometimes the best thing you can do is take a step back and let things come to you naturally. It doesn't mean you stop working towards your dreams, it just means you learn to recognize when it's time to push and when it's time to let go. And if nobody helps you, then do it alone. You're capable of so much more than you realize. Take your financial life seriously. I can't stress this enough. Money might not be everything, but it can be a powerful tool for creating freedom in your life. And while you're working on your finances, be mindful of where you invest your time. Be selfish with it. Not everyone deserves a piece of your day, especially if they're not bringing anything positive into your life. You have to learn to say no, not out of arrogance, but out of respect for yourself and your own goals. And remember, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. This is such an empowering thought because it reminds you that it's never too late. No matter what has happened, you have the power to change your future. Every day you wake up, you have the opportunity to do things differently, to make choices that move you closer to the life you want to live. Don't let past mistakes hold you hostage. Sometimes, being alone is exactly what you need. It gives you the time and space to reconnect with who you are, to figure out what you really want, and to make decisions that are right for you, without any outside noise. It's not always easy, but being comfortable in your own company is a superpower. It's about learning to be your own best friend, and being okay with yourself, flaws and all. On that note, sometimes we need to stop seeing the good in people and start seeing what they actually show us. Actions speak louder than words, and if someone is showing you over and over again that they don't respect you or value you, it's time to take that at face value. Don't waste your energy trying to convince someone to be someone they're not. And here's the thing, don't pretend to be better than you are. There's so much pressure in today's world to present this perfect version of yourself, but that's exhausting. Life is about progress, not perfection. Be real, be authentic, and live life at your own pace. You don't have to measure up to someone else's timeline. Just because someone else is hitting certain milestones doesn't mean you need to be there too. Your journey is unique, and there's no need to rush. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that your darkest moments can end up being the best thing that ever happened to you. I know, it sounds strange. But those moments, when you feel completely lost or broken, are often the times that lead to the biggest transformations. They force you to grow, to change, and to step into a stronger version of yourself. So if you're going through something tough right now, just remember, this moment won't last forever, and it could be setting you up for something incredible. Envy is a complete waste of time. We've all been there, looking at someone else's life and wishing we had what they have. But here's the truth, you have everything you need to create a fulfilling life. It might not look like someone else's, but it doesn't need to. Focus on what you have, focus on your strengths, and use that energy to build something great for yourself. The grass isn't always greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. If you don't ask, you don't get. It's as simple as that. So many opportunities are missed because we're too afraid to speak up. Whether it's asking for help, asking for what you need in a relationship, or going after that job you want, you've got to put yourself out there. No one else is going to do it for you. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's a classic for a reason. Treat people with kindness and respect, not because you want something in return, but because it's the right thing to do. And if you're honest, you never have to worry about covering your tracks. Life isn't always fair, but that doesn't mean it isn't good. Focus on the positive, and you'll see that there's a lot more good than bad. It's not enough to just talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. Don't trust words, trust actions. Actions reveal who people really are. It's easy to say the right things, but what someone does is what truly matters. Be someone who lets their actions speak louder than their words. Do yourself a favor and get rich. Not because money is everything, but because it gives you freedom. Freedom to make choices that align with your values, freedom to help others, and freedom to live life on your own terms. And don't forget, if you can survive your own thoughts, you can survive anything. Your mind can be a battleground, and if you can learn to navigate those tough inner moments, you're already winning half the battle. If someone doesn't appreciate you, they don't deserve you. Don't waste your time on people who don't see your worth. You deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, not bring you down. And when you're going through something, learn to heal without telling everyone. Not everyone needs to know your business, and sometimes healing in silence is the most powerful thing you can do. To avoid disappointment, expect nothing from nobody. It doesn't mean you stop hoping for the best, but it means you don't rely on others for your happiness. Everything you need is already within you, and when you understand that, life becomes a whole lot simpler. Everything comes to you at the right time, you just have to be patient. Trust the process, even when it doesn't make sense. Failure is a bruise, not a tattoo. It's temporary, and it doesn't define you. If you fall, get back up. You're not meant to stay down. Avoid gossip at all costs, it does nothing but spread negativity. Keep your energy focused on things that build you up, not tear others down. Attachment is the root of all suffering. When we hold on to things too tightly, whether it's people, expectations, or outcomes, we set ourselves up for pain. Letting go isn't about not caring, it's about understanding that you can't control everything. Sometimes, you just have to trust that what's meant to be will be. Time always reveals what you truly mean to someone. People can put on an act for a while, but eventually, their true feelings and intentions come to the surface. Stress is temporary, but the lessons you learn from it can last a lifetime. Every stressful situation is an opportunity to learn and grow, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. If someone is trying to bring you down, remember they are already below you. Their negativity is a reflection of their own insecurities, not your worth. Money isn't everything, but it can solve a lot of practical problems. And no matter what you achieve, stay humble. No one likes arrogance, humility is what keeps you grounded and connected to others. 4. Inner peace and self-respect. Moving on from growth and self-improvement, let's talk about finding inner peace and building self-respect. These are two of the most powerful assets you can have. It's easy to chase success, relationships, and recognition, but none of that means anything if you don't feel at peace within yourself. So let's get into it. First off, don't regret having a good heart. Just because some people take advantage of your kindness, doesn't mean you should change who you are. Keep being the kind-hearted person you are, because all good things come back in some way or another. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but trust me, the universe has a way of rewarding those who do good. And even when things get tough, don't feel guilty for doing what's best for you. Self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. You can't pour from an empty cup, so take care of yourself first. Choose your friends wisely. The people you surround yourself with have a huge impact on your mindset and your success. The fastest way to become better is to surround yourself with better people, people who challenge you, inspire you, and encourage you to grow. On the flip side, if the people around you are constantly negative or holding you back, it's time to reassess those relationships. You deserve a circle that lifts you up, not one that drags you down. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. It's great to be optimistic, but it's also important to be realistic. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and that's okay. When you're prepared for the challenges that might come your way, you're better equipped to handle them without getting overwhelmed. It's not about expecting failure, it's about being ready to handle whatever life throws at you with grace and resilience. One of the most powerful words in existence is no. Learning to say no is a game changer. It's not about being rude or dismissive, it's about respecting your own boundaries and understanding that you can't be everything to everyone. People-pleasing might feel good in the moment, but it often leads to burnout and resentment. It's okay to prioritize your own needs, and it's okay to say no without feeling guilty. You'll be alone in the most difficult times of your life. And you know what? That's okay. Those moments are when you find out what you're truly made of. They make you wise, mature, and fearless. It's during those times that you learn to rely on yourself, to trust your own strength, and to build resilience. No one can walk your path for you, and that's what makes your journey uniquely yours. Embrace those moments, they're shaping you into the person you're meant to be. No matter how nice or respectful you are, some people will still talk bad about you behind your back. It's just a fact of life. You can't control what others say or think, but you can control how you react. Let people talk. What others think of you is none of your business, and it doesn't define who you are. Stay true to yourself, keep doing good, and let your actions speak for themselves. Eventually, people's words will fade, but your character will remain. When you're working for someone else's dream, you sacrifice your own. There's nothing wrong with having a job, but don't let that be the only thing you do. Make time for your own dreams, your own passions, and your own goals. Life is too short to spend all of it building someone else's vision. Find what lights you up, and make it a priority to work on it, even if it's just a little bit each day. No matter what good you do for people, they will only remember your mistakes. It's unfortunate, but it's true. People tend to focus on the negative more than the positive. But don't let that discourage you. Keep doing good, keep being kind, and remember that your worth isn't determined by other people's opinions. You're not defined by your mistakes, you're defined by how you learn from them and move forward. To reach somewhere, you need to leave something behind. Growth requires letting go, whether it's habits, people, or even parts of yourself that no longer serve you. It's not easy, but it's necessary if you want to move forward. Holding on to the past only holds you back. Let go of what's weighing you down so you can make room for what's meant to come. It's best to leave things at the right time, otherwise, you're left with too many regrets and complaints. Knowing when to walk away is a skill that takes practice. Whether it's a job, a relationship, or even a project, sometimes it's just time to move on. Don't wait until you're filled with resentment. Leave with your head held high, knowing you made the right choice for yourself. You may not realize this, but the people you love are often your biggest weaknesses. It's not a bad thing, it's just the reality of being human. When you love someone, you become vulnerable, and that can be both beautiful and challenging. Love fiercely, but don't lose yourself in the process. Remember that you matter too, and your well-being should never be compromised for the sake of someone else. Bad times are actually a blessing in disguise because they wake you up to the good things you never paid attention to. It's easy to take things for granted when everything is going well, but when life gets tough, you start to see what really matters. Those hard times help you appreciate the small joys, the moments of peace, and the people who stand by you. They remind you of what's truly important. Life is full of ups and downs, and sometimes, the best thing you can do is just ride the wave. Not everything needs to be controlled or fixed. Sometimes, you just need to let things be and trust that they will work out in the end. It's about finding that balance between effort and surrender, knowing when to push and when to let go. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made. You're human, and humans make mistakes. What matters most is that you learn from them and do better moving forward. Holding on to guilt and regret only keeps you stuck in the past. Let it go, and give yourself permission to grow beyond your past actions. Sometimes, the people closest to you won't understand your journey, and that's okay. Your path is yours alone, and not everyone will get it. You don't need everyone's approval to pursue your dreams. Trust yourself, trust your vision, and keep moving forward, even if others don't see what you see. The right people will support you, and the rest will catch up when they see the results. Your peace is more valuable than anything else. Don't let anyone or anything disturb it. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because, in many ways, it does. A peaceful mind is a powerful mind. It allows you to think clearly, make better decisions, and live a more fulfilling life. If something or someone is consistently disturbing your peace, it's time to make a change. Be wary of those who only show up when they need something. Real friends are there through thick and thin, not just when it's convenient for them. Pay attention to who sticks around when times are tough. That's when you find out who truly cares. Surround yourself with people who are there for you, not just when you're at your best, but when you're at your lowest too. Don't underestimate the power of small habits. It's the little things you do every day that add up to big changes over time. Whether it's taking 5 minutes to meditate, going for a short walk, or reading a few pages of a book, those small actions can have a huge impact on your overall well-being. Consistency is key, and over time, those small habits will lead to big results. Learn to detach from things that don't serve you. Whether it's material possessions, toxic relationships, or even limiting beliefs, let go of what's holding you back. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop letting things control you. It's about finding freedom from the things that weigh you down and choosing to focus on what truly matters. Remember, your journey is yours alone. It's not about keeping up with others or meeting anyone else's expectations. It's about finding what makes you happy, what gives your life meaning, and pursuing that with everything you have. Stay true to yourself, keep growing, and never stop striving for the life you deserve. 5. Perspective and resilience. Now that we've explored inner peace and self-respect, let's move on to perspective and resilience. Life is all about how you choose to see things, and that perspective can be the difference between feeling defeated and finding hope. Let's talk about how we can shift our mindset and build the resilience needed to face whatever comes our way. First off, let's get one thing straight: life is not always fair, but that doesn't mean it isn't worth living. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments that make you question everything. But even in those moments, there's beauty to be found. It's all about how you choose to look at things. If you focus on the negative, that's all you'll see. But if you choose to look for the lessons, the opportunities, and the silver linings, you'll find them. It might not always be easy, but it's always worth it. And let's be real, sometimes, life is tough, and you need a little humor to get through it. A good laugh can be the best medicine. It doesn't solve all your problems, but it helps you see them from a different perspective. Laughter lightens the load and makes the tough times a little more bearable. Find joy in the small things, laugh at your mistakes, and don't take everything so seriously. Life is meant to be enjoyed, not just endured. One thing you need to remember is that you don't have to have everything figured out. It's okay to not know all the answers. It's okay to feel lost sometimes. Life is a journey, not a destination, and part of that journey is figuring things out as you go. Give yourself permission to explore, to make mistakes, and to change your mind. You're not supposed to have all the answers right now, and that's perfectly fine. And while you're figuring things out, remember that you are stronger than you think. You've survived 100% of your worst days so far, and that's no small feat. You've faced challenges that you didn't think you could handle, and you came out the other side. That's resilience. It's not about never falling, it's about getting back up every single time you do. Resilience is built through the tough times, through the moments when you feel like giving up but choose to keep going anyway. Here's a little truth bomb for you: you don't owe anyone an explanation for your choices. Whether it's a career change, ending a relationship, or taking time for yourself, you don't need to justify your decisions to anyone. The only person who needs to understand your choices is you. Live your life on your terms, not based on what others think is right for you. People will always have opinions, but at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with your decisions. Take time to enjoy the journey. We're often so focused on the end goal that we forget to appreciate the process. But life is made up of moments, small, everyday moments that pass us by if we're not paying attention. Take a breath, look around, and appreciate where you are right now. The journey is just as important as the destination, and you don't want to miss it by always looking ahead. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is let go of expectations. We all have this idea of how life should go, and when reality doesn't match up, it can be incredibly frustrating. But here's the thing: life is unpredictable, and that's part of what makes it beautiful. Letting go of rigid expectations allows you to embrace what is, rather than getting stuck on what should be. It gives you the freedom to adapt, to change, and to find joy in unexpected places. And let's talk about boundaries. Boundaries are not about keeping people out, they're about protecting your peace. It's okay to set limits on what you're willing to tolerate, on how much of your energy you're willing to give, and on who gets access to you. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, and they help you maintain healthy relationships with others and yourself. If someone can't respect your boundaries, they don't deserve a place in your life. One of the biggest lessons in life is learning that you can't control everything. No matter how hard you try, some things are simply out of your hands. And that's okay. Control what you can: your attitude, your actions, your effort, and let go of the rest. Worrying about things you can't change only robs you of your peace. Trust that things will work out as they're meant to, even if it's not in the way you envisioned. Learn to appreciate solitude. There's a difference between being alone and feeling lonely. Solitude is powerful. It gives you space to think, to reflect, and to reconnect with yourself. It's in those quiet moments that you often find the answers you're looking for. Embrace the time you spend alone, and use it to get to know yourself better. When you're comfortable being alone, you become less reliant on others for your happiness. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every successful person has failed, probably more times than they can count. The difference is that they didn't let failure stop them. They learned from it, adapted, and kept moving forward. Failure is not something to be feared, it's something to be embraced. It means you're trying, you're putting yourself out there, and you're growing. The people who truly care about you will always support you, even if they don't fully understand your journey. They may not get why you're making certain choices, but they'll respect that it's your life and stand by you anyway. Those are the people you want in your corner. Surround yourself with those who lift you up, not those who bring you down. Life is too short to spend it with people who don't support your growth. It's okay to outgrow people, places, and situations. Growth is a natural part of life, and sometimes that means leaving behind what no longer serves you. It doesn't mean you don't care, it just means that you're evolving, and that's a good thing. Don't hold yourself back just to make others comfortable. You deserve to grow, to change, and to become the best version of yourself, even if that means leaving some things behind. Practice gratitude, even on the hard days. There's always something to be thankful for, even if it's just the fact that you woke up this morning and have another chance to try again. Gratitude shifts your perspective, and it helps you focus on what's good in your life, rather than what's missing. It's not about ignoring the challenges, it's about acknowledging the good that exists alongside them. Let go of the need for perfection. Perfection is an illusion, and chasing it only leads to stress and dissatisfaction. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You don't have to have it all together all the time. Embrace your imperfections, they're what make you human. The goal isn't to be flawless, it's to be real, to be genuine, and to do the best you can with what you have. Trust yourself. You have more wisdom, more strength, and more resilience than you realize. You've made it this far, and you're capable of handling whatever comes next. Trust your intuition, trust your abilities, and trust that you are enough, just as you are. No one else knows your journey like you do, so listen to that inner voice that's guiding you. Lastly, don't forget to celebrate your victories, big or small. Life is challenging enough, and it's important to acknowledge the moments when you succeed, when you overcome, and when you achieve something you've worked hard for. Celebrate yourself, celebrate your growth, and be proud of how far you've come. You deserve it. 6. Self-acceptance and authenticity. Here we are at the final part, and today we're diving into self-acceptance and authenticity, two key components that bring everything else we've talked about together. If you're enjoying this journey and getting some value out of it, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, like this video, and drop a comment below about what resonates with you the most. Let's keep inspiring each other. Alright, let's get into it. Self-acceptance isn't always easy, especially in a world that constantly tells us we're not enough, like we need to change, improve, or be something else. But here's the truth, you are enough, just as you are. Embracing who you are, flaws and all, is one of the most freeing things you can do. It doesn't mean you stop striving to grow or become better, but it means you accept yourself in every phase of that growth. You can be a work in progress and still be complete. Stop waiting for someone else to validate you. The only validation you need is your own. It's nice to hear compliments and receive praise, but if your sense of worth depends on what others think, you'll always be chasing something outside of yourself. True confidence comes from within. It comes from knowing who you are, recognizing your strengths, and accepting your weaknesses without shame. You have to be your own biggest supporter, even when no one else is cheering you on. And here's something that might seem counterintuitive: accept your fears. Fear is a natural part of life, and trying to avoid it only makes it stronger. The key is not to be fearless, but to recognize your fears and move forward anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite it. Every time you do something that scares you, you grow. Every time you face a fear, it loses some of its power over you. Don't let fear hold you back from living the life you want. Authenticity is about being true to who you are, even when it's uncomfortable. It's easy to wear a mask, to present a version of yourself that you think others will like. But that's exhausting, and it's not sustainable. The people who are meant to be in your life will love you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. And the people who don't, well, they were never meant to be part of your journey anyway. Stay true to yourself, and trust that the right people will find their way to you. One of the most important things you can do is stop comparing yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy, and it's one of the quickest ways to feel inadequate. Your journey is yours alone, and it's not meant to look like anyone else's. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Focus on your growth, your progress, and your unique strengths. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small, and remember that everyone's timeline is different. Forgiveness is also a huge part of self-acceptance. Not just forgiving others, but forgiving yourself. We all make mistakes, we all have regrets, and we've all done things we wish we could change. But holding on to guilt and shame doesn't serve you. It keeps you stuck in the past, unable to move forward. Learn from your mistakes, make amends if you can, and then let them go. You deserve to move on, to grow, and to find peace. Here's something to keep in mind: you are not your past. The mistakes you made, the things you did when you didn't know better, they do not define you. What defines you is how you learn from those experiences, how you choose to grow, and who you become as a result. Your past is part of your story, but it's not the whole story. You have the power to write new chapters, to create a new narrative, and to become whoever you want to be. It's also important to acknowledge that not everyone will understand your journey, and that's okay. You don't need everyone to understand or approve of your choices. The most important thing is that you're living a life that feels true to you. There will always be people who judge, who criticize, and who try to bring you down. But their opinions do not define your worth. Keep doing what feels right to you, and let the rest go. Take pride in your progress, even if it feels slow. Growth isn't always linear, and sometimes it feels like you're taking one step forward and two steps back. But as long as you're trying, as long as you're putting in the effort, you're moving in the right direction. Celebrate the small victories, because they matter. Every little step you take brings you closer to where you want to be, and that's worth acknowledging. Remember, it's okay to rest. We live in a culture that glorifies hustle and productivity, but rest is just as important as hard work. You can't pour from an empty cup, and pushing yourself too hard will only lead to burnout. Listen to your body, take breaks when you need them, and know that rest is not a sign of weakness, it's a necessary part of growth. Taking care of yourself is the most important thing you can do, and that means giving yourself permission to slow down when you need to. Be gentle with yourself on the days when you feel like you're not enough. We all have those days, those moments of doubt when we question everything. It's normal. But remember that feelings are not facts. Just because you feel inadequate doesn't mean you are. On those days, remind yourself of everything you've overcome, of all the progress you've made, and of the strength you carry within you. You are enough, even on your worst days. Find joy in the little things. It's easy to get caught up in the big picture, in the pursuit of goals and dreams, but life is made up of small moments. The warmth of the sun on your face, a kind word from a friend, a good meal, these are the things that make life beautiful. Don't overlook the simple joys in your pursuit of something bigger. Happiness is often found in the details, in the quiet moments that we sometimes take for granted. And finally, remember that you are worthy of love and happiness, just as you are. You don't need to change yourself to be worthy of love. You don't need to earn it, and you certainly don't need to settle for less than you deserve. The right people will love you for who you are, flaws and all. Don't settle for anything less than the kind of love that uplifts you, that makes you feel seen, and that encourages you to be your authentic self. You are deserving of a life that makes you happy. You are deserving of peace, of joy, of love, and of fulfillment. Don't let anyone, including yourself, convince you otherwise. You have the power to create the life you want, to make choices that align with your values, and to live in a way that feels true to you. It won't always be easy, and there will be challenges along the way, but you are more than capable of overcoming them. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through these life lessons. I hope you found something here that resonates with you, something that inspires you to keep going, to keep growing, and to keep believing in yourself. Remember to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective and how these lessons apply to your life. Keep striving, keep thriving, and always remember, you've got this.